Hello everyone. It's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com. I have a super special guest who wants to get out of my craft room, so I had to hop on and show her to you. And I don't know if she's going to come up here, but come here. Say, come here. Oh, she's laying down. I have a really special guest here with me. It's my doggy niece. Her name is Sadie. She's laying on the floor because I wanted her to come up, so she went down. She's not going to be with us for the whole video, but I had to show her to you, so come here. Sadie, come here. Come here. She really liked it when I opened my seal refill, so let's see. Come here. You smell it? Come on. Come on. She's not having it, you guys. Okay, we're gonna, if you get a little motion sick, I apologize, but we're gonna go on a little tour. Ready? Oh, hold on, I got cords. There she is! Sadie, say hi! Say hi, my name is Sadie. Oh, she's getting up now. She is my cutest little doggy niece. And I don't really think, she likes my craft room, right? Yeah, she does. She just doesn't like to be away from other people in the house. And so I think she's having a really hard time because she knows there's people upstairs and she's not with them. So I am going to open the door and let her out. But I had to show her to you because she's so precious. Okay. Yeah, good girl. Okay. Okay. See you later. Love you. Anyway, I had to show her to you because last week, you guys, I told you I was going to have a special visitor, and that's who it was, or a special guest. She's not really a guest because she can't really stamp with me. But I had to show, oh, so sorry. I'm trying to get this back. I had to show her to you because she's my favorite. She's so good. And I've been so preoccupied with her that she has been over since Thursday night, and I love her. Can you tell I don't have my own dog, so she is my dog. I always tell my sister she's my dog. It's just I don't pay for the vet bills. Anyway, so all that to say, welcome everybody. It is my Tuesday night live video. It is Tuesday, July 29th. Can you believe that? I can't. It is 2025, 5 p.m. Central Time, my local time. All those good things. Thanks for joining me. If you are watching live, welcome. Please comment along live. I do read those comments as we go. And if you are watching the replay, you can also leave a comment because I do go back and look at those, okay? All right. I feel so discombobulated because I've just had dog brain. Because I'm always like, where is she? Does she need me? Does she need to go out? Should she have another treat? Does she want to play? You know, all those things. It's just, I'm having like the best time, the time of my life. And of course I'm covered in lots of dog hairs. I don't know if you could tell, but she has black fur, and so it's everywhere. Everywhere. But anyway, welcome everybody. Today we are going to play with two super fun bundles. Actually one bundle, one stamp set. So the bundle is called Just a Note and the stamp set is called School Days, and they are both part of the online exclusives. I know it might seem like it's way too early to think about back to school. It kind of is. But for some of you, you go back to school in the middle of August or even like towards the beginning of August. So I know, dog brain. And so I thought we should make some fun cards so that you're ready for the first day of school. Maybe you have absolutely nothing to do with school anymore, and that's fine. These cards are super stinking cute anyway. And so you can take some fun, some inspiration from there, and maybe just get rid of like the school element part of it, right? Right. Okay, so let me flip here so you can see my desktop. And I'm going to show you these oh my gosh, I'm going to keep calling them bundles. This is the only one that is. Yeah, Jamie says she starts August 11th. Jamie, do you go back as a teacher or do your students come back as well? One of my team members, Janet, goes back. She said, oh gosh, I want to say like about a weekish before her students come back. Awesome. Joan said no more school because she retired. I love it. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a teacher and then I wanted to be a professor. And obviously that's not how life panned out for me. But I don't know. I won't say I liked homework, but I didn't dislike homework. I was definitely that kid where like the date it was assigned, I was doing the homework instead of like waiting till the night before. I'm a little bit type A. Okay, so this is the Just a Note bundle. It is a red rubber set. You can tell that teachers the 11th and kids the 13th. That's nice because, yeah, my team member Janet was saying it's kind of nice that the teachers can go back for a few days before the kids. Kind of, you know, ease into it before you just are like met with energy. Anyway, so red rubber stamp, we are using every stamp except this one that says best ever. I do think that sentiment is very, very cute, but I just chose different ones for this week. And you can see this really fun die set. So this is where I'm saying, if you like this week's cards, but you don't really want that school element, take a look at this, because if you're anything like me, if you're type A like me, I just fell in love with the set. Look at, like, you got this piece. This would be, it's just so fun. It's just, I have to digress. Oh, that was the weirdest laugh. Anyway, that was like a puberty laugh. Then we've got the School Days stamp set. This one is photopolymer, and we are going to use several of these stamps as well, like the backpack and the apple and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I love these cards. They're great for teachers. They're great for students, whatever you want to do. So we are going to get started. I have something huge here to show you as well, so I'm trying to make room for all of it. I'm going to show you that later. Let me show you the projects we're going to make this week. We are making a mix 3 cards, and then we're going to make one really cool 3D item. I'm pretty proud of it because I came up with it all on my own. I tried to get some inspiration, and I couldn't quite find anything that I liked. And so I don't know, I was pretty proud with what I came up with. All right, so we've got this super cute card that says, "You've got this," right? Great for teachers or students again. We've got this one, "Happy Back to School." This is like my favorite card this week, I think, because it's just so cute. This one that says, "Just a Note." So no real like big school vibes on this one. Super duper cute. And then here's the 3D. Are you ready? I made a backpack. Oh, isn't it cute? So here's a cute little backpack. It's got a magnetic closure here, and you know what goes inside? Peanut butter and jelly Reese's, because come on, right? What says back to school other than, like, I swear, I think I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day of my life from kindergarten through 12th grade. I love peanut butter and jelly, and so I saw these. I'm going to show you this. I saw this at Five Below, and I was like, that's so cute, but it's huge. Like, these are the big cups. I don't know if you've ever had a Reese's Big Cup, but they're taller. Can you see that? It looks, honestly, if I had to guess, I'd say that's like twice the thickness of a regular Reese's. And I saw this at Five Below, and I was like, well, that's really cute, but I don't need one that big. Like, how am I going to make a cute little backpack out of this? So then I saw you can get single cups, right? But where do you get single cups? Well, you get them from Hershey website in a giant bin. And they do have strawberry and grape ones. You have to tell me in the comments if you prefer strawberry, jelly, or jam, or grape. I like grape. I might be like in the minority there. I think a lot of people prefer strawberry jelly, but yeah, not me. But look at this, you guys. So it comes with 6 of the strawberry ones, 6 of the grape ones, and then 6 of the regular big cup ones. I mean, it's just massive. And I haven't even reached to the bottom to get a grape one out, but we're going to try, because I'm going to try to make a grape one for us today. Hold on. Did I get one? I'm going to have to pour these out. Look at this. This is like ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but I love it. It's ridiculous in the best ways. Here's a grape one. How fun is that, right? Okay, so I thought I wanted something to hold one of these because I know my niece and nephew are going to go absolutely nuts for this, for back to school. I did show my niece. She's so cute. I showed her that I came up with the backpack because I was pretty excited about it. And so I showed it to her, and I said, okay, now you have to forget about it because for the first day of school, you're going to get this from me. And she goes, what were we talking about? And it cracked me up. She's just so cute. But anyway, I made a little backpack for it, and I am going to show you how to make this backpack today. It's going to be our final project, though, so you're going to have to wait. I know the suspense is going to be outrageous, but it's just so cute. I just think it's so cute. Oh, Anne likes them equally. Depends on what else is being served with them. Yeah. Oh, Heather's a grape girl. Oh my gosh, so many of you are grape girls. I love it. I love it. Or prefer grape. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm just catching up, making sure. Yeah, I'm definitely prefer grape jelly. Actually, in North Carolina, when we went, sorry, I'm all over the place today, but in North Carolina, when we went for Onstage this past March, I ordered room service one of the mornings for breakfast, and they had like a restaurant in the hotel, so that's where the room service came from. But if you went to the restaurant, right, you had to wait like an hour for a table, but the room service came in like 20 minutes, so that's obviously what I went with. And it was the same price, like they didn't charge more, so that was good. But they brought me apple jelly, and it was so good, so I'm excited to try to go to like some local apple orchards this fall and see if I can find it. It was Schmucker's brand, but I can't find it anywhere. So I'm hoping that I can. Joan is not a fan of peanut butter. Oh, I could eat it by the spoonful. I love the stuff. All right, so anyway, these are the 4 projects we are going to make together tonight. A fun little back to school theme, or an office-y theme if you want to go that way as well. So if you would like the project kits to make these at home, I am happy to send them to you as a free thank you gift for placing an order with me this week. So if you place your order, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but by the end of the day this Friday, August 1st, I will send you these 4 project kits as a free thank you from me. I'll get them shipped out next Tuesday, which is the 5th. I'll probably call it a card kit during the live because usually they are complete card kits. But this week I just had to do the backpack because it's just too cute. So if I call it a card kit, just know it is 3 cards and 1 cute backpack. But let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with this cute card right here. And I love this. And this was totally accidental, but I love how this cording wraps with the circle. It's like I meant to do it. Oh, Joan makes apple butter. Maybe I need to look it up. Oh, that's funny. Maybe I need to look it up as apple butter. Maybe I'd have better luck with that. I don't know. I have pretty high hopes that I'll find something at the apple orchard, and they do open usually at the end of August. My banner is in here still. Come on. It was being shy. It didn't want to get stamped on today. Okay. So for this card kit, we've got a cloud cover card base. We've got a basic white layer. You're going to have 3 strips here. We've got Calypso Coral, Pool Party, and Melon Mambo. You're going to have a basic white circle die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies, and you're going to have a basic white banner die cut from those same Stylish Shapes dies. Come on, focusing. We got it. Anywho, you get the gist. So let's start with stamping because it's the best place to start, best way to start. By the way, if you do place that order for the Just a Note and School Days Class to Go kit, you are going to also get a PDF. Now, in this week's PDF, I did not do a diagram for the backpack. Look at all the stamps we're going to use. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That was probably so loud. But, you know, it's like I don't like to make 2 trips. And that was the equivalent of me trying to make 2 trips because, you know, ridiculous. Anywho, I didn't do a diagram for the backpack, so I'm going to show that to you live, and you can take a screenshot if you would like to. All right, so we are going to stamp these books in Secret Sea ink. This is on the circle, the basic white circle, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. You've got this on our basic white banner. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it on the like backside because I kind of thought I would first stamp it too high, so then I thought, well, we'll practice. Not bad. Not the best, but it's not awful. So anywho, I just thought we'll practice first before we commit, right? Okay, so then with our Poppy Parade, we are going to stamp our crisp apple. Now the stem and the leaf are attached to this. If you want them to be different colors, you could use your Stampin' Write markers. But I was like, meh, it's all right. So we're just committing. We're just going for it, you know? All right, we've got that. You guys, I know it's still summer, but man, am I excited for fall. I really am. I love fall. Okay, so we've got Calypso Coral ink with Calypso Coral cardstock, and we've got this little plus sign. So I am just stamping this all around and making a cute little background here on this strip. I just love this. If you guys don't know, I have a degree. I went to college for applied mathematics, so I had to add this plus in somewhere because math was obviously my favorite subject. And that's why I put a post out the other day on my business page, my Stamp with Melissa page, asking what your favorite subject was in school, and I have to tell you, A couple of you said study hall, and I was cracking up. I was like, I love that. All right, so then on the pool party strip, we are going to stamp the pencil. And you can tell I am mixing and matching images from the two sets. So anything that's in that photopolymer, which is the see-through, that is from the School Days stamp set. And anything in that red rubber is from Just a Note. By the way, I am going to do another really fun class with the Just a Note bundle at the end of August. So if it's on your wish list, it might really be now because you're not going to want to miss that class. I'm telling you. All right, last but not least, we are going to stamp our cute star in Melon Mambo ink onto our Melon Mambo strip. And this star is not like perfectly symmetrical. It's kind of like, I don't know, you can tell it was maybe a little hand drawn, so I am kind of turning that direction every which way just to get a fun little look here. Maybe one more at the top or right there. There, that looks pretty good to me. So we can go ahead and close this up and we can assemble this card. Okay. So, oh my gosh, and then I have to tell you, you guys, I feel like 453 things have happened to me in the last week. My seal, even though I'm not being very sparse in using it right now, I really should be. I'm down to my very last refill. Can you believe it? Free shipping day came and gone. Came and gone? Came and went. And I didn't realize I was so low on refill, I didn't even order any. Oh, how dumb I felt when free shipping ended, and it was like the next day I was like, where's my refills? I thought I had like 20 of them. So anywho, I have an order in now, but I had to pay shipping on it, so I'm like, dang it. Anyway, you can see here, I just lined those strips up, but I was working with my mom this weekend. We both got the month by month, the virtual album retreat kit that Stampin' Up was doing. And so we were working through that this weekend, and we got through all of our pages and a lot of rolls of seal. And then said, oops, we don't have very much seal left. Your favorite class in college and high school was music. I love that, Joan. That is awesome for sure. Okay, so I added some seal to the back of our strip, our sentiment strip here, and I'm going to adhere that down with seal, and then we're going to take to our dimensionals. I also used a lot of sheets of dimensionals, but luckily I recently ordered those, so I was all set there. And we are going to peel off the backings, and then we're going to pop this up and just make sure that it doesn't cover the edge of the sentiment. So you can go here, but then you've got, right? And so I'm just going to pull it over until we can see that whole sentiment and set that down. All right, we are going to Wink of Stella, because why not, right? We're going to Wink of Stella this cute little apple. Color, color, color. I love adding Wink of Stella. It really is like a great name for it, because you don't really notice it's there until you turn your card and then it just like hits in the spotlight. I love it. Your order's coming this week. You're out of seal. Oh no, Alicia. Yeah. I have an order coming tomorrow with some refills because I may be paid to 2-day ship it even, because I need it. And Alicia knows this, some of my team knows this, but there's an event this weekend for Minnesota demonstrators, and I have to get a lot of projects ready for it, and so I need my adhesive. Okay, so I tied a bow with this really cute Lost Lagoon cording. That's what they call it, and just trim that. So I tied that on the spool, and then I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, grab that off of the glue dot, and we're going to stick that down right on the card. So stinking cute. And this one I thought would be really fun to use some of the Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. I know, Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink are not colors in here, but it actually kind of blends pretty well with that Melon Mambo, because this isn't really like, it's got like some fun glitter in there, and it's not really the true color, so I thought it looked really nice anyway. So anywho, that's card number 1. What do you think of that one? So cute. Look there, you can see that wink of Stella. Ooh, it's still drying, but you know, you can see it. It's so shiny. Right? Right. Okay. All right, let's go to card number 2. This is probably my favorite card of the week. I just think it's really, really cute. Great for anybody, right? Boys, girls, teachers, students, you name it. I think it's just so super cute, even though we will use some liquid glue with it. And we have to do some heat embossing. All right, so for this one, we've got a pool party card base. This one's really easy to customize to school colors too, if you want to do that. We've got a pool party layer. Now this was, I call it die cut embossing because you use a die. Okay, this is the pattern of friendship die. You use the die to get that texture, but it doesn't even, see all those tiny little holes and whatnot? It doesn't even like fully die cut those out. It just kind of pierces. So you don't have a mess with it, which is really kind of nice. But it gives you that cool little pattern. So I call it die cut embossing because it looks like embossing, but it's using a die. So anyway, if you don't have that die, it does pair with the pattern of friendship stamp set. It is a bundle, but you know, it's one of those bundles where like the two things don't really need to go together, but it's super, super cute. Yeah, I don't think I've ever run out either, Alicia. And I do have like a whole new seal, but I just can't, right? Like, we've been buddies for years. I can't part with it now. Anyway, all right, then you're going to have some basic white squares. You're going to die cut out this cute little page die right here, right? It has like the torn edges, like a loose leaf notebook. So you've got these. Okay, we're going to do some stamping on those. You've got a scrap of white because we have to stamp in fussy cut. Uh-oh, I know. Anyway, you're going to have some lemon lolly to die cut out your cute little banner. It actually does die cut out 2 at a time, so if you want to use 2 on your project, you can. You're going to have some melon mambo to die cut out your cute little heart. You're going to have some smoky slate. Look at how stinking cute that paper clip is. Same thing, that die cuts out 2, so you can put multiple on if you'd like. And then you're going to have a strip of basic black for heat embossing. And I say we start with heat embossing because why not, right? Oh, so noisy. Anyway, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our stuff. I am going to start with my embossing buddy because I want to remove any static, and I am like, you can see how chalky it gets because I am like, we are not having any bits where we don't want them to be. Green glue to the rescue. Yes and no. Yeah, I would say green glue would be my second choice, but I'm actually almost out of that too because I don't use it as much. So anywho, all right, let's ink up Happy Back to School in our Versamark, and I'm going to stamp this down. I'm not going to go all the way over to the right, but most of the left is going to get covered up, so I kind of like split the difference there. Okay, and then I'm going to turn my heat tool on so that it can get warmed up here, and we're going to open up our white embossing powder. And I'm going to grab my spoon, my multi-purpose spoon. I use it for heat embossing. I use it for re-inking my ink pads, you know, everything. And I just added some white powder on there. We can close this guy up. I really love the look of heat embossing. If you haven't been able to tell, I've been doing it a lot more recently. I just really like the look of it. I think it's so fun. We're going to heat emboss. I know, Anne. And no coloring, go figure, right? Man. You know how it goes. All right, so we are going to heat emboss that. Hopefully, I don't know why my focus seems to not be super great today on my camera, but it's all right. Okay. So we've got that heat embossed, and then I just like to set that aside. It is still a little bit hot to touch, so you can touch it, but I just get worried I'm going to smudge it if I do anything with it right away. So I just like to move it over, and because I think that I have embossing powder on this, I'm going to flip this over too. And we are going to take these cute little page dies to start, and we are going to stamp on our pages, our little, what do we call it? Like the little grid line. Okay, so so the way my stamp was cut, I have one line that's pretty close to the top and the other one is a little bit down. So I'm going to keep this one up here just so I remember. And then I'm going to just press that down. And because I mentioned math class was my favorite, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to turn this 90 degrees and stamp again and get a little grid. How fun is that? Okay, so then we're going to do it again, and on the second one I'm going to go over farther. Okay, because we can cover pretty much the whole front. And then we'll ink, 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 and we're going to turn that again. And you know, the ideal is that I'm turning it 90 degrees. Might not be perfect, but that's okay. All right, so we've got those inked up. We can close our pool party. How fun is that, huh? Cute little grid. I like this one better, so it's going to be the one on top. That's how that goes. That's why you get two, right? Okay, so then we're going to stamp our books and our backpack. And our books, on the first card, we stamped those in Secret C. This time we're going to stamp them in Lemon Lime Twist. So I wanted to clean off that stamp. We are going to ink these up and stamp that down. We are going to fussy cut them. I know, can you believe it? And then we're going to grab our Calypso Coral and our backpack stamp. And we are going to stamp that down. And then we're going to fussy cut. Okay, so here are my scissors. Like, where did they go? Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to start with the books because it's pretty much a straight edge, so it seems a bit easier here. And I have to like somewhat focus when I fussy cut, because not the greatest. You guys, I got a really great compliment though the other day. Or maybe it was a couple of weeks ago, posted a picture on Facebook of something that I fussy cut, and someone told me that it was really good. And I was like, I don't think you understand, that's like the best compliment. Because I am not the most confident fussy cutter. And while I don't think I'm like awful at it, I don't think I'm like that great. Anyway, maybe it's just, I don't know. It's probably all just self-confidence or lack thereof. Oh, the dog's barking. Okay, so we're going to go around here. Hopefully that doesn't pick up on the microphone, but if you hear her barking, I apologize. Okay. Wrap that around. Nice. Not too shabby. Okay. We can go ahead then and start assembling things, and we're probably maybe gonna want our silicone craft mat. Let's see. We'll decide as we go. All right. Lori, I feel like it's one of those things. So Lori said no matter how much she fussy cuts, she never gets better at it. I feel like it's one of those things that because you're the one fussy cutting, right? So each and every time you see it, you don't notice a difference, right? It's like my niece and nephew. I see them so often, I don't really notice them growing, but they sure are, right? And so I think you probably are getting better at it, and you just don't know. That's my philosophy anyway. All right, we are going to adhere this to the front of our card. We're going to remove that dog hair because that's my life for the next day. I'm not complaining. I love her so much. I do. All right, so we've got those. We are going to take our cute little grid papers here then, and I am going to actually, I'm going to leave this one, your favorite one, just leave up for a second. The one that's not your favorite, we're going to flip over. We're going to add dimensionals on the back. Okay, and we'll put one in the middle. And then we're going to adhere these down but we're going to have them popped up on dimensionals, but really only the bottom one needs to do. So we're going to go like there-ish. And then this one you can just use adhesive on, seal or glue or whatever you want, because we're going to put it at a slight slant, like so. Okay, but then it's flat on top of the other one. Oh, puppy glitter. Great idea, Anne. That's a great way to think of it. Okay, and then we're going to take this paper clip. And this is the part that's really, really fun because we get to use liquid glue. Okay, so this bigger part is going to tuck under. This, hopefully this isn't super complicated, but I think you'll see what I'm doing here. So that bigger part's going to tuck under, so I just added a little bit of glue here. This skinnier part is going to go over, so I'm flipping it and adding a bit of adhesive, of liquid glue. And I don't really care if the under part like gets all gluey, right? Because it's going underneath, so whatever. So then I'm going to just tack that down. Okay, just like that. Not too bad. All right, we're going to pull out our silicone craft mat for a second, because then we are going to switch back to seal. And this is why I wanted to do a die cut heart, because if you're not confident that this is going to stay stuck, you just put a little heart over it, and then now it will, because, you know, you have extra adhesive security. Okay, so then I'm going to tack down this cute little tab. I think it's actually, you know, meant to go in, but I liked the look of it going out. There's a little, you know, it's like those little flag post-its or whatever. I think that's what they're called, is flag post-its. And then we're going to trim down our sentiments. So I am going to use my trimmer, and I just want to get this, you know, in a little bit more. A little more snug. We're going to hug our sentiment. And that's a little too close. That looks good. So it ends up being about 3/4 of an inch. And then we'll just angle cut that edge here. And you know what? We don't need all of this excess to the left, so I'll just cut some off. But we don't have to cut off the whole thing because we're going to have that backpack cover it. And then we can just add some adhesive. But on that side where I did that little angle cut, I'm going to stick a dimensional down because it's going to hang off of our grid paper. And then we're just going to stick this guy down right about there. So cute, so cute. All right, take your backpack. We're going to add some dimensionals, and we're going to trim our ends, because every part of the dimensional page is usable. And actually sometimes like these strips are nicer to use in certain areas. So we're just going to trim that. Grab another dimensional here. Peel off those backings, and then we're going to stick this down and make sure we cover up like this little, you know, part over here. Like so. And then we're going to add our cute little books on a dimensional as well. But I'm only going to add them over towards the left-hand side. I spun that around because look at this. When I cut the dimensional end, see how this, come on. See how that edge goes there? So I spun it around because I thought that was clever. Add a little bit of seal on that right-hand side so it can stick onto our backpack. And then we'll stick that down right there. Grab our black baker's twine. We're going to tie a bow. This pulls out that heat embossed sentiment really nicely. That looks good. And then we'll just trim off that tail. Puppy glitter. I'm still thinking about that. And you're so clever. I know, isn't the paperclip so cute? It's like this, the whole bundle is so cute. And the bundle with this stamp set, they just work really, really nicely together. There's a tiny little bug crawling right there. Can you see it right above my pinky? That is the smallest bug I've ever seen. Get out of here. Okay, we are going to set that right there, like so. And then we're going to finish this one off. These are the rainbow dots. I love these. There's also a lemon lolly color. I'm out of those, but that would look really nice because it would tie in with our cute little die cut piece. I'm going to use these Azure Afternoon ones because I think they're really pretty, and it's just, I know it's another blue, but I think it pulls out that color really cute. So we're going to use one big one. I'm going to take another big one actually, and yeah, I'm going to put it up over here. And I'll take a little guy. You know what? I'm going to switch these. So I'm just going to pop that up, put this big guy over here. Maybe like that, and then put this little guy right there. This is too high. I'm going to move it again. Third time's a charm, right? Just play with it till you got it where you like it. All right, that looks good to me. And that is our second card. I can count, you know. No worries, Marva. We are glad you're here. So there is the second card. I love that one too. I really like this card a lot. I think it's so cute. Let's go on to our third card, which features one of my favorite colors ever, Secret Sea. I don't know what the lighting's doing right now. It's being kind of weird. It got kind of darker. What's going on? I don't know. Anywho, let's go on to this cute card here. We'll take a look at our card kit. And this one is super cute and not super back to school-ish, although you could use it to send to a teacher, or if you are a teacher, you could send it to a parent, right? Something like, just a note, maybe you have like a room mom or something, just a note, you're awesome, thumbs up. I'm sure what you write would be more sentimental than that, but anywho. We've got a Secret Sea card base here. We've got a Secret Sea layer that is embossed with the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. Oh man, plaid in school, right? Plaid in school. We've got a basic white piece. You'll have this to die cut out that page. So this time we're going to do a full page, not like, you know, your math grid paper. You're going to have a cloud cover rectangle die cut for you. This is with the textured note dies. You're going to have some Melon Mambo. We're going to do a cute little binder clip, you guys. So Melon Mambo Smoky Slate for your binder clip. And you're going to have some Flirty Flamingo to die cut out 3 super adorable hearts. How fun are those, right? Okay, so let's start with stamping. We don't have a ton of stamping to do on this card, but I do have a really fun technique. So we're going to use Pool Party, we're going to use Calypso Coral, and we're going to use Secret Sea. Okay, so let's start with Secret Sea and our sentiments. We've got that cloud cover ink pad. Nope, we don't have the cloud cover ink pad. We have the cloud cover die cut rectangle and our sentiment that says just a note. We're going to stamp that down onto our die cut piece there and close up our ink pad. Okay, and then we're going to take our, come here buddy, our basic white piece. I'm going to put it on my messy scrap paper because of the really cool technique I'm going to show you. But we've got our Pool Party ink pad open. We're going to do the lines in the notebook, or the lines on the page, I should say. Now, a traditional page, you know, has a bigger gap at the top for the title. So we are just going to go ahead. I'm going to make it a little bit lower here on the page, just so we have that, you know, natural look, like there's room up there for the title. And then, as you may remember from your school days, we've got a line usually right down here, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up my Calypso Coral ink pad. I thought that would look really nice with the Flirty Flamingo. The two colors pair together well. And the way we're going to do that line, yes, if you have the Stampin' Write markers and you have Calypso Coral, draw a line. Absolutely great. I'm going to use a clear block. So this is Clear Block H from Stampin' Up. You can use anything. I just wanted something that was longer than the page, okay? And what I'm going to do is, because Stampin' Up's blocks have like these little notches in there for your fingers to hold the block, what's nice is we've got these 2 raised edges, okay? So I'm going to take just one of those raised edges, and I'm just going to ink it in my ink pad. Can you see that? I know it's a little bit faint. I'm going to get my head over it. You can go as many times as you want to, but main thing is that you're not inking both sides, okay? And then I'm just going to eyeball this here. And we are going to stamp that down. boom, there we go. We got our cute little page. And then when I put this down on my desk, I'm gonna keep that side up so I remember that side has ink on it. It needs to be cleaned before, it falls over and touches things, and yeah, we have a mess. But anywho, isn't that kind of fun? So you can get a cute little line on there. Now, there's another technique you can do where you can actually take the whole block and ink up the whole side, and you can use it to make stripes, which is really fun. So that's just a fun little thing to do. So let's go ahead and assemble this card. We are going to add some seal to our Secret C embossed layer. I'm pressing too hard, so I'm ripping. If you are using seal, if you press down too hard when you are applying it, it can rip your cardstock. So just remember, a light touch is good. It's going to get a little funky because it's going on that textured piece, so I like to clean out the excess. I call them the glue boogers. Clean that out, and I just put it on right on that layer. And then we'll add this to our card front. Go ahead and fold and burnish. Okay, like so. And then we're going to take our cute little page and let's adhere some things down before we add it to our card. So I'm going to take my binder clip and just add some seal on the back of that. And then I'm going to clip it on here. Now, I don't remember with actual notebooks if that red line goes all the way to the top. So I'm going to cover part of it with the binder clip. It didn't look too natural to me that it went all the way to the top, but I feel like it does. Like in my memory, it does. And then we're going to take our liquid glue and just add a little bit. For this one, you could use an adhesive sheet. The paper clip is a little bit harder because part of it goes, I mean, you could, but I glued the front side to the back and then the back side to the front. That is what I did, but that sounded really backwards. Okay, and then we're going to adhere this down. Anywho, the binder clip you could use adhesive sheets for because we're going to adhere that where you're not going to see the back top of this part, so that would work all right. And then we're going to add dimensionals to this. Okay. And I like to add a dimensional where it's like slightly over the Melon Mambo binder clip piece as well, just for added security. Peel off all those backings, and then we're going to adhere this to our card at a slight slant, or you could adhere it on straight if you want to as well. Okay, and then we're going to take our vanilla twine, and I don't have my glass mat here, but I'm estimating about 18 inches. I don't know. I think that's close-ish. If I had my glass mat, I'd probably measure it out. You don't really need to measure it out. You can kind of eyeball it as well. But we are going to do a faux bow, and not only that, we're going to do a faux double bow. Say that 10 times fast. Faux double bow, faux double bow. Hi, Claudia. Yeah, okay, and I thought it did, but I think maybe because the Calypso Coral is a little bit of a deeper color, it looks a little dark going all the way up. But I thought it did, so thanks for confirming. Okay, so I looped that, right, in half and stuck that half down on the seal. And then I'm just going to use my fingers to adhere this down looking like a bow. Okay, like that, and then once more, like that. And you can see it looks totally messy underneath, but not to fear because we are going to cover that up. So I'm just going to use a dimensional there. I stuck it down over the top. We are going to double stack this. Okay, like so. And then for this guy, I'll just, on that side with the J, I'll just stick another dimensional. I want it to be one level up from our page, our paper. So on that Secret C base, I needed to add 2 dimensionals to layer that up, right? And then over here, because our page is already up once, we only need 1, okay? All right, so then we're going to finish this guy off by adding on our flirty flamingo hearts and some embellishments. So let me grab these and add some seal. We might actually make it through this whole video with this whole seal. And then I'm just going to tack these on. You could use these as embellishments if you like, but I did want to add a couple of embellishments too. So these are the low profile dots. We've got the pink and the gold. Super duper pretty. So we're going to use the pink ones. I'm going to stick a big, a little, and then I'm going to do another big because I like to keep my embellishment quantities as close to similar as popular as possible. Words are really hard today, I guess. But anywho, so there is our third card. How fun is that one as well? I love that. All right, so let me take a quick drink and then we're going to go on to our project. Okay, so it's time for the backpack. Isn't it so cute? Okay, as I mentioned, if you do place your order to get the class to go this week, you are going to get a PDF as well with all of the backpack measurements. I do not remember them all off the top of my head. I know that the piece is 6.5 by 7.5, but I don't remember all of the measurements. I could guess, but they would truly be a guess. So anywho, I sized it to fit one of these. So let's take a look here. I did do some of the prep work ahead of time, like the scoring, but we're going to do some together. So I think I scored it. I think it's set, well, it's 7.5 by 6.5. I think it's scored at 1, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. And then 1, 4, and 5. I think. Yeah, it's a guess. Anywho, we've got a black, let me show you all the pieces. We've got a black piece. I will have this scored for you, by the way. You're going to have another piece of basic black. I did some of this ahead of time. You're going to do all of it together. I'm going to show you this, but this part I wanted to just go ahead and do. This is another piece here. These are going to be our straps, okay? You're going to also have a basic black piece. And I wanted to just tell you how I made this. So I took 2 of our punches. Hold on, let me grab a few accessories. I took 2 of our punches, and what I did is I actually took the smaller one first. I took basic black cardstock, and I punched out a circle with this. This is the 1 3/4. And then, so that's the inside, right? And then I went back in with the 2-inch and cut around it to make the little handle. Now this is probably too long for what we need, but we can trim it down. But I wanted to show you that. You actually do want to start with the smaller circle, because if you do the larger circle first, then you have to somehow get the circle into the smaller punch and get it centered, and that just sounded like a nightmare to me. So I actually started with the smaller one, and then you can work around that, because you're punching a circle out of basic black cardstock, and then you're going back in and making a donut, right? Okay, so then you're going to have a piece here of the Lovely Garden DSP. You're going to have another piece. I thought this pattern was fun. It's grid, black and white, great for any school colors. And this pocket was die cut out with the Notes and Totes dies. This pocket right here. So I wanted to show you that as well, because I had some heroes come in to help with this. And then you're going to have a scrap of basic white for stamping. You're going to have a piece of Lemon Lolly to die cut out a star, and a piece of Coastal Cabana to die cut out a heart. Now, if you'd like to customize this for school colors, change the color of the heart, maybe even the color of the star, you'll be good to go, okay? Now, I know we usually start with stamping, but we're going to do things a little different because I want to get going on this backpack because it's so cute, all right? So I'm just going to fold and burnish on all of the score lines. You can see one of those score lines was kind of already burnished because it had to fit in the envelope. But anywho, so yours probably will be too with your kit. But we're going ahead and we're going to fold and burnish all of these, and then we're going to do some cutting. Okay. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I didn't do a diagram for this in our PDF. So we're going to want to do it together. Let me see. I think I have, yeah, here's our chalk marker. You can see the score lines. I'm just going to like real quick do a little X. These are the pieces we're going to cut away. So we want those gone. We want everything on the bottom to stay. I just have to think about this. So this is going to be the back. So we don't want this. We don't want this. And then we won't let me just make sure, because this is going to fold over. You know, you just have to think about things sometimes. That's going to fold over like that, and then we want the back. Those are going to be tabs for there. That's going to stay. Okay, yeah. Okay, that all those X's are what we're getting rid of. All right, so I'm just going to use my snips for this. Here we go. Are you ready? So I'm going to start on the bottom. That's the row with only the one score line down here. And we are keeping all of these, but these square pieces, I'm going to miter cut the edge. And basically what that means is that I'm angle cutting the edges on the squares, and then I'm going to cut right up that score line. And that is because we're not perfect, right? Nobody is. And so just in case there was a little bit of a measurement weirdness, I don't want like my pieces to pop out. Do you know what I mean? So when I fold this all together, I just don't want them to look weird, like show beyond. So if I miter cut the edge, these are getting tucked in anyway. I don't have to worry about it like sticking out like this. Okay. All right. So then this guy here, we're going to cut up the score line. And then I'm just going to miter cut in a little bit. We are keeping this 1/2 inch tab because we need to glue. So we need something for gluing, right? We're going to cut that away. You can see we have a big section here, so I'm just going to come all the way over here. And we are going to cut down this score line. And then go ahead and cut in. And if you like using your trimmer for stuff like this, go ahead and do that. That was a really not cute fold or cut there, but I'm going to leave it because whatever. Okay, so then we're going to cut away this section. This top flap here, we're leaving that. That's kind of like the fold over on the backpack. And then what I did, I'm going to show you this. You can cut these off or keep them. Okay, these little tabbies. I'm going to keep them, but you can cut them off. I don't think they're super necessary. So I'm going to cut all the way down here. And we're going to miter cut these as well. Okay, and once we're done here, I will put everything back in the screen. Not all these little miter cut edges, but the bigger sections I'll put back in the screen in case you want to take a screenshot. Okay. All right, same thing over here. So I'm going to cut all the way down. We're going to cut off this little tabby and then cut these in. This was a really fun project to come up with. Okay, so let me get rid of these. And then we are going to place this like this so you can see what we got rid of. Okay. I know it's not perfect. I'll try to fold it down a little flatter. Maybe, let me bend it. Anywho, that is what we cut away. Okay, there you go. If you need to take a screenshot, go ahead and do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so now we can go ahead and assemble this. And I forgot to grab my tear and tape out, but it's right here. I love using tear and tape for 3D items. I think it is the superior adhesive for 3D items because the other option is liquid glue, and you all know that that one's just not my favorite. So I added tear and tape. We are going to use liquid glue for this though, so I should probably be nicer to it because otherwise it's going to be mad at me and it's going to like glob out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I added tear and tape to that 1/2 inch section. I'm going to fold this guy over and then fold over my smaller flap here. Okay, just like that. You can see this is going to be the front then. So what I'm going to do is we're going to fold in the 2 little square flaps. Let me grab my liquid glue and get it ready. You could use tear and tape for this as well. But we're going to just add a little bit of liquid glue here. And then I'm going to fold the back in. Okay. Then I'm going to add some liquid glue. Fold the front. That way it helps with my seam here. Just personal preference. So you really could fold those whichever way you want. And then I just take that rounded edge of my bone folder and press that down. Just like so. Now, again, personal preference, but I actually liked this better with rounded corners. Stampin' Up! Does not currently sell a rounded corner punch, but I'm sure if you've been crafting for a while, you probably have one, or you can just skip this part. This is an old one from when Stampin' Up! Had Project Life. So I'm just going to round the corners of that guy, which also means on this strip of DSP, not the pocket, but the other piece, not the die cut piece, but the regular, I'm going to round the two corners on the long end because that's going to go on that flap. So for consistency, I want that all to be rounded. Okay. All right. So then we can sneak in our cute little, so cute. I mean, come on. Sneak in our little Reese's peanut butter cup here. That will close. How fun is that? Now it's not decorated yet, so it's a little bit, yeah, one corner rounder or several. I get you, Lori. Okay, so before we get too wild and doing a whole bunch of stuff, I want to add on the straps and the handle. So what we're actually, you know what? No, we're going to decorate the front because we're going to get that magnet on there to close everything. And that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's take this DSP. Not everything on the front. We'll wait to do the stamping and the fussy cutting. But I do want to get that magnet on, and so we're going to just do a little bit of this. So that piece is going to go on our front flap. This pocket I do want to pop up with dimensionals. So, haha, clean sheet. It's like the clean plate club, you know, for kids. You have the clean dimensional sheet club for adults, for crafters. All right, peel off the backings of these dimensionals here. And then we're going to attach this pocket. If you want to, you can kind of close this flap just to eyeball it, but it should be good enough here. And I'm just going to attach that, but it's not adhered over that flap, so it can still open. Yeah, that's funny. I actually think I only have the one corner rounder, except I do have the old envelope punch board, and that does have a corner rounder on it too. So technically I have two, but handheld, only the one. I better not ever lose it, right? Okay, so then I want to add on our little magnetic pieces. Now I'm going to send you a couple of these in the Class to Go kit for this week as well, so you don't have to worry about like ordering a whole pack. But these are just little magnets. You could also use like a Velcro dot. But I definitely recommend having something external to close it, just because, I mean, if you're putting other candy in it, it might be all right, but this is kind of heavy. It says it's 1.4 ounces, but I just think if this tilted, it's coming out, right? So anywho. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take these. There's two of them here sandwiched together. I'm going to put one side on a glue dot and use my take your pick tool. Nope, didn't stick. Hold on. Try again. Push that down. There we go. I am going to put this on the inside of my flap here. Okay, and then we're going to take another glue dot and stick it here. Okay, and I'm going to put my Reese's in this just to help with, you know, so it's not hollow. And I'm just going to flip this over and push down. Not too hard, but I'm just going to push that down so we've got that cute little magnetic closure. And then if you want, you could, you know, get in there and push that down. But that way you have it in place where you want it. So we can go ahead and close this guy up. I'm so excited for these. They're so cool. I just love it. All right, so let's work on the straps. We've got the handle here, so we'll kind of work on this all together. I'm going to scooch those out of the way. So here's what we've got for this piece. We've got a piece of basic black here. It is scored at 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom, right? Both of the long sides, I just swiveled it. And then what I did is I lined this up. You can see I've got these slits here. I lined this up in my trimmer at 1/2 inch, and I cut from score line to score line, okay? What we're going to do then is we want to basically hollow this out. So we're going to cut off the remaining part. So I'll do that together. So we're going to line this up at 1/2 inch again, and I'm probably going to have to get my head over this, and I apologize for that. And we're going to go ahead and just cut from score line to score line, and then turn this around and do it again. I do apologize for my head being in there, but you know, you just want to see. And there, that way, we've kind of gutted it out. Now this piece you can save for something else another time. Okay. And I know you might be thinking, well, Melissa, that's way too long, right? But we want our straps to be curved. So super cute. I love this project so much. All right, then we can fold on these score lines, and I'm just going to go ahead and burnish. And fold on this one. And then we're going to actually start by adhering our handle first. So I'm going to go ahead, you know, you can kind of make it as low or as high as you want it to be. Whatever you envision for your handle. But I'm just going to add some liquid glue kind of down, you know, down there a bit, and then we're going to adhere this down. Now, admittedly, on my original, I did the handle after the fact, and I feel like it's going to be more secure this way, especially if you're going to give this to a kid. They might grab it by the handle, right? They might grab it by this. So if I have this adhered down first and then I adhere the straps down, I just feel like that's going to be a little bit more secure. Okay. All right. I'm going to use tear and tape then on these little 1/2 inch, the short side, the 1/2 inch pieces here. I'm going to use tear and tape. And this is going to adhere on the back of our backpack. Okay. And I'm going to just use my bone folder. That kind of helps burnish that and make it super stuck down. And for now, I'll just peel off the one side, whichever one, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this back on itself. And we can start with the bottom here. And I'm just going to line this up with the bottom edge of the backpack, just like so. Okay, and then we'll peel off the top strap. And then again, we're going to fold this back and we're going to adhere this. It's going to fight you a little bit, but we got this. You can see I just totally pivoted it. We're going to adhere it to the top of the backpack. Come here, buddy. There we go. Just kind of play with it till you get it where you need it to go. And I'm going to push that down. And you can even use your bone folder. Get in there and add that. And how stinking cute. I mean, come on. You can lay it down. I mean, the straps, they're not going to like, look, it's like a rocker. They're not going to like give out on you. It is pretty strong here with that 1/2 inch flap. On my original, I did it a little thinner. And you can see where I added that handle after the fact, but I definitely like this way better. You can see the handle, so if you want to, hold on, let me get the light in there. If you wanted to trim, you can't really see it. I can see there's a handle under there. If you wanted to trim it so it wasn't visible, you can totally do that, but I wasn't too concerned. Okay, let's go on. We've got just a little bit of decorating to do then. We are going to grab our Poppy Parade ink pad again. We're going to stamp our cute little apple. We stamped this guy in our first card today, and we stamped it in Poppy Parade. So, no need to clean, right? Yay! Thanks, Anne. I don't know how I came up with it. It kind of came out of nowhere for that strap, and I thought it was pretty clever. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I was like, oh, that's cool. So I thought that was pretty fun. All right, we're going to fussy cut out our apple. And then we'll go ahead and assemble our, or not assemble, but decorate our backpack. And that will be all. So I know we went a little bit longer today than we normally do, but it was for good reason. We had a cute project to make, right? So these are really fun, and they're actually quite simple to make once you make one, right? Especially those straps. I think they look a little bit complex, but then when you see how to do it, it's easy peasy. And if you're a little bit nervous about like kind of gutting out the middle there, you could use a die as well. You can kind of change the measurement and use like a rectangle die to kind of attach those, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dimensional. Oh my gosh, how did I get ink all over my finger? Oops. Did I get it somewhere? I don't know. Anywho, I'm going to take this dimensional. Good thing it's a black backpack, right? And I'm actually going to stick it down on the black part next to the pocket because I want my apple to cover the whole thing. And I am just a little bit too nervous that if I add it to the back of the apple, I won't have enough space. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach that like that. Grab that silicone mat out and my cute little die cut star and heart. Then we're going to attach these on. One there, and we'll sneak our star in just slightly under the apple maybe. Might have to pick it up a little. Oh, come on, buddy. You can do it. There we go. He didn't really want to, but he did in the end. So there's that, and then we are actually going to add a little bit of ribbon as well. Look at how slim I am on this silver. This is part of the silver and gold trim combo pack. And this is obviously the silver one here. I'm just going to tie a bow. Okay, and just get that looking good wherever you want it. That looks pretty equal to me, but I want it to be a little smaller. Just like that. That looks good, and we'll trim off the one tail. Maybe trim this guy down a smidge. Okay, and then we're going to add this to a glue dot. And pick that up and put that right on our backpack flap. Right there. So cute. That's our backpack. How do you guys like that? I'm so glad you love it. You think it's adorable. I think it's so super cute. I might cave and make more for my niece and nephew's friends because I just think they're so cute and just so fun. So that's, yeah. You can tell this is where I laid it down, so you can see it kind of smushed a little bit. Not to worry though, right? Pretty cute. So that is our fourth and final project. Let me bring in the other ones here. So we've got our backpack, and we've got 3 beautiful cards ready for back to school or office or whatever you want to use them for. And that's our card. So thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed it. As a reminder, if you would like these project kits as a free thank you gift from me this week, I am offering them when you place an order in my online store through the end of the day this Friday, August 1st. I can't believe it still. So that is 11:59 p.m. Central Time, which is my local time. $50 or more before tax and shipping, and after any Stampin' Rewards are redeemed. I'll get these in the mail to you next Tuesday. So if you are planning them for back to school, hopefully you'll have them in plenty of time to, you know, get them made and get them mailed or handed out. Yeah. So I can't believe it's almost August. That's just so bizarre to me. Anywho, you also do get the PDF with measurements, pictures, instructions, supplies, all of that good stuff as part of the class to go. And of course, my incredible crafters team gets those for free every week as well. So they can look for that in our Facebook group. And what else do I have to tell you? I'm trying to think. I do have one thing to tell you, but I was trying to think if I had anything more. Oh, specifically about this class. If you're looking for a supply list for what I used tonight, there is actually a link in the description of this video. First of all, there's a link for you to just go shopping to place that $50 order. Or you can also click on the supply list link. Now, when you do that, it's going to add every item I recommend to your cart. Just delete out the ones that you don't need or you're not planning to order. Delete those out, but that way it will actually add those recommended supplies right to your cart so you don't have to go searching for those, okay? All right, so let me flip back to just my face for a second because I wanted to also let you know that tomorrow I have a new class that is launching registration. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, Melissa, Christmas in July just ended on Sunday. Well, we are entering the time of the year when I have more ideas than my brain can hold. So yeah, we just have a lot of classes because it's a good time of year to craft also. And I don't know, I just get really excited. So tomorrow I am launching registration for the Fright Night Mystery Craft Box. I am running this again, partnering with my friend Heidi Collins from Michigan. We are super duper excited to launch. It's just a really, really fun one. You're going to really love it. We're using the Fright Night bundle. So yeah, get ready. That is part of the online exclusives. It's going to be awesome. So email list subscribers, as always, you get first dibs. So that will go out tomorrow, probably in the morning, maybe mid-afternoon. But look for it. It will be out in your inbox tomorrow, and I'll get it posted everywhere else tomorrow night. And yeah, it's going to be a fun one, so I hope you'll join me. But anyway, thanks so much again for joining me tonight. I will catch you live again next month. Oh my gosh, in August. And yeah, I think that's all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye for now.